a firearms officer who took her own police force to court. Rebecca Kalam exposed misogyny, discrimination and a predatory culture at the heart of the West Midlands elite unit.
We shouldn't be having officers who post pornographic images of females' labia and clitorises. How are women going to be respected?
A tribunal found that Ms Kalam was unlawfully treated, victimised because she's a woman. The case revealed a culture in which male officers drew pictures of genitalia on notice boards around a police station, and in which she was made to strip down to her underwear in a training session. The tribunal awarded Rebecca Kalam more than £820,000. It's one of the biggest payouts of its kind. But Ms Kalam said the costly court proceedings could have been avoided altogether if the force had investigated her claims as soon as she made them, instead of what she describes as victim blaming. West Midlands Police have never given an interview about the case, but released this video statement.
Over the past year, we've made major progress on an action plan to address the serious issues within the Employment Tribunal, many of which date back a number of years. We cannot be any clearer. There is no place in policing for misogynistic, discriminatory or disrespectful behaviour.
In an exclusive interview with this programme before today's hearing, Ms Kalam told us it was never about the money.
Given everything you've been through, do you feel like you've won?
No, I haven't won this case. I feel like, in a way, I've lost my career, but I can hold my head up high to say that I did everything I possibly could to make those changes.
One of the changes she fought for was the lack of body armour for women.
Get on the floor!
Despite the dangers that firearms officers face, women were told they'd have to make do with men's ballistic armour. When Ms Kalam tried to complain, she was told to wear a compression bra.
So how did you feel when you were going out on jobs, wearing uniform that you felt wouldn't protect you?
What I felt was unsafe, knowing that I might not come home to my 2 kids if I was shot. That's scary.
On one occasion, she suffered a serious burn when a bullet casing got under a gap in the men's vest she had to wear, which was too big.
I've been second-degree burned on the back of my neck when bullet casings went down because of wearing male uniform.
Ms Kalam also described a culture of racism and discrimination, her case raising wider questions. This tribunal has come at a time when the culture of policing nationally has been under scrutiny as never before, at a time when trust in the police has been under strain. When Karen Geddes retired from West Midlands Police, she was one of only 34 black women officers. She says the Rebecca Kalam case proves that the problems of misogyny and racism aren't confined to the Met.
People think it's specific to the Met because that's where a lot of the noise happens, but what then happens when it's focused on one area, you tend to neglect other areas as well, and the police needs to hold a mirror up to themselves and think, why did it have to come to this?
In recent months, West Midlands Police was placed into special measures by inspectors following a series of failings, including poor investigations. The force told us female officers have now all been issued with kit which is right for them. Rebecca Kalam told us she feels the tribunal result is a vindication of the truth.
Darshna Soni reporting. Well, I'm joined now by Paul Oddle, who was Rebecca Kalam's Police Federation representative. Thanks very much for joining us. First of all, what do you make of today?
Yeah, it is a good result. But unfortunately, like Rebecca said, she hasn't won the case. She's lost everything she wanted to aspire to be. And that was to be, you know, a police officer, climb the ranks, and, you know, serve the community. So she's lost that in a big way, really. But the result today kind of told the police organisation, which hits them hard when money's taken out of their pockets, to actually get their house into order.
I mean, Rebecca Kalam's case painted a really damning picture of a unit within the force that, while she was clear there were many good officers, she was also clear that there was a toxic culture running through it, horrific examples of racism and sexism. And when she became public on that, former colleagues then contacted us to say some felt she brought the case for money. I mean, is this still a force in denial?
It is a force in denial. She didn't bring it for money at all. In fact, she gave some of her own money back to the force when she was acting up to ask the force to buy the right clothing for the female officers. So this was nothing about money. This was all about protecting those female officers that were far and few between in a specialist unit.
Because that misogyny that she talked about was structural, wasn't it? You had body armour, potentially life-saving kit that didn't work for women.
That's right. They were given out-of-use body armour that was found in the corners of locker rooms that were dirty. I know for a fact the body armour that Becky was given, he had to disinfect it and wash it probably 3 or 4 times before she could even put it on herself.
I mean, just briefly, if you would, she said all of this could have been solved with a conversation, yet as we know, the force continued to fight her through the tribunal, very redolent of the post office scandal, huge amounts of money to keep fighting her through this tribunal. What do you think that says about the leadership in the force?
It's poor leadership. There was no need to be fighting because they already admitted liability to then employ a King's Counsel and a Queen's Counsel as well, and their full solicitors to fight this in the 2-week trial back last year in the summer, when they've already admitted liability, was beyond a joke, really. This is their own officer that they're fighting who has been treated badly.
Just really finally, sorry to interrupt you, but really quickly, can the public trust this force? It's in special measures now. Can the public trust this force?
There's a lot of good police officers who are working hard and do a lot of good work in the community. It's not about the police officers on the street, the foot soldiers. It's about the leadership.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. Sorry to cut you off. Thanks very much.